apartment rents are dropping. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that apartment rents have dropped in every major market in the United States month after month for the last 6 months. And this is such a reversal when we saw rents going up and up. And the number of apartments, new apartments, that are going to be available in 23 is the largest supply in at least 40 years of records. So apartment developers saw these rising rents of the last many years, and they all decided pretty much at once they were going to build new apartments. So those apartments are all built towards the high end. So if you are of more modest income, living in a more moderately priced apartment, you may say, well, that's nice for high-end renters. What about us? What happens is that the overall supply ends up influencing the rent levels that people pay. And what will happen is that people who are in more modest apartments see the deals in nicer places, they move, creating vacancies in lower cost apartments that then have to struggle to fill their apartments. So this is good news all the way around, but still rents are high. So what's the alternative if you're looking for cheaper rent? Well, USA Today did such a fun story that reminded me of my brother Neil forever ago. My brother Neil was trying to stretch money in his younger days. And what Neil was doing, Neil had really good taste in furniture and furnishings, decorating and all that. And it was during a housing slump in the United States. And he would go to a real estate agency that was having trouble selling a home. And he'd say, well, you can rent my furniture. And what he meant was he would show home the house, and he'd pay to move in, he'd pay to move out, and he'd get free rent in return for furnishing and decorating the place. Some of his staging is very common now. It was not 35 years ago. And so he'd move into a place, and a place that had not sold, this first one he moved into, sold, went under contract really quickly. And word got around in the town he lived in, and he moved again and again and again, and his only expense was the moving truck, and this is before the internet, and having to set up phone service. And he did not pay rent till the economy recovered in the housing market. He didn't pay rent, I think, for 3 years, something like that, just moving from place to place to place. Well, now there's something going on that is really crazy. It's called a bump notice. And in this situation, these are available around the country, is you become a standby renter. And this is going to become even more of an opportunity as landlords, with all this new inventory of apartments coming on, they're going to want some money coming in. So unlike my brother getting the free rent, a standby membership allows you to pick a fully furnished 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartment, 350 cities in this, and you pay a flat rate of rent that is heavily discounted from normal rent. But the idea is the landlord is bringing in some money in an apartment that would sit empty otherwise, and the discount you get is about 1/3 off rent. What's the catch? The catch is, if they end up renting your unit, you have to move in 72 hours. 72 hours. You got to go. It's almost like staying in an extended stay hotel, except you don't get to decide how long you stay. The landlord decides how long you stay. But in return, you get this heavily reduced rent in a furnished place. So what you're having to move are your clothes. and whatever possessions you have other than that. But you get the advantage of the discount rent. So this is something that, gosh, this is so me. But I'm telling you, my wife would hate this idea. I remember I was visiting our daughter when she lived in Pasadena in Southern California, and I was staying at a new Residence Inn by Marriott that I got on Priceline. And I'm staying in this thing, and I walk it off. Yes, I really did this. It was 450 square feet approximately. And I was like, I could live in this. This would be great. And I was talking to my wife, and I said, you know, honey, this is so much better a way to live. We just live in this. She said, go ahead if you want to. I'm not coming. Krista, I mean, you can hear Lane saying that, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, understandably.
I remember when we used to be on the endless book tours, and I'd get in these hotels in Via. Some of them would be really nice, some would be really crummy, and some would be in between. And I'd get to some and think, wow, this would be great. I could see just living right here in this hotel room forever.
Yeah. There was this one time, I mean, you do have like, you know, you have an optimistic outlook on things. And we were in a hotel.
My rose-colored glasses.
And you, well, you always say I have Krista-colored glasses, but you are just as guilty. And you called me from your room and you were like, wow, they give you a room? This room is so elegant. I mean, the drapes and you're describing your room. Like, it was so incredible. And I was like, oh my gosh, they must have like given him like the presidential suite, you know? So I go up to see this, you know, palace, and it's the same exact room I was in. Like, same.
And ever since then, you've always laughed at me that my vision of luxury and elegance is very different than yours.
The more money you save, the nicer it becomes in your eyes. You have savings goggles that you put on. Like, if you've saved a bunch of money, you're like, this place is amazing. Like, isn't it true?
It is true.